working all night for you. Nah, I'm working all night. I'm working all night. I'm working all night for you. Nah, I'm working all night. I'm working all night.
This gum lost its flavor. I need a new one. Another Ravens-Steelers game. Another fucking disappointment. Let's talk. Let's talk about the Ravens. The four things. Four things made them lose this game. Okay. First off, coaching. Well, you know what? Let's talk defense first. So the defense, they're just not healthy. I still think it's the best defense in the AFC, hands down. I think they'll easily beat the Steelers most of the time. But, this was just bad. They're just not healthy. And this kind of goes into my coaching. Because of Jimmy Smith not being there and being hurt, you have to put Brandon Carr and Antonio Brown. Okay, he's the number 2. I get it. He gets burnt like 5 times, though, for deep routes. Sit him on the other side of the field and bring over, like, Marlon Humphrey. I don't know. Bring over somebody, dude. Like, Brandon Carr can't cover him. I'm not saying Marlon Humphrey could have done it. He's a rookie. I get it. He's not very experienced. He's going up against a high-level receiver. I get it. Come on, dude. And this goes into coaching. You have to be willing to change, man. I mean, it's literally the definition of insanity to just keep going and going and going and doing the same thing over and over and over again with the same result. That is insanity. That is literally the definition of insanity. It's not working. Quit trying it. Do something new. You know, it's just like when Mark Trestman was still the offensive coordinator and all they did was pass, and they ran like 5 running plays a game. And the Ravens were going 5-11. I was like, guess what? Run the damn ball. The next year they came out, ran the ball, they went 8-8. This year, they ran the ball even more, and they did it even better with better blocking. And, I mean, yeah, they're 7-6, but they're still in prime position for the playoffs. And they were in prime position to win tonight. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, you got to be willing to change your approach, even mid-game. You can't just be like, well, if it didn't work the last 3 times, maybe if we just do it the same way, just, you know, another 3 drives, maybe it'll work. No, try something new, man. That's the first thing. That's the first issue I'm having. Well, 2, defense and coaching. Oh, the other thing on defense that I was going to talk about is the missed opportunities. Terrell Suggs could have had an interception. It was dropped. I try not to criticize Terrell Suggs. I'm a huge Ravens fan. You know, I've watched the team for years. I've criticized all types of players. I've talked shit on all types of players, but I try not to criticize Terrell Suggs because he's given this team so much. He's done so much for the city, for the team, for his legacy might never be matched. I mean, he's not like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed level, but like, well, I mean, he's their level of like legend, of like Ravens legend as far as like Ravens players. Yes, he is up in that same tier, but his legacy isn't quite the same. It's kind of hard to explain, but he's not Ray Lewis is what I'm getting at, and he's not Ed Reed because he's not a safety. That's pretty simple, but him and Ray Lewis also play different linebacker positions. He is the greatest outside linebacker the Ravens have ever had. It's that simple. I try not to criticize him. He's been an amazing player, you know, first ballot Hall of Famer in my book. But, I mean, come on, dude. Like, You can't let opportunities like that slip through your fingers. Literally. Literally drop them. Because that might come back to bite you, and it did. It did. So that's all I'm going to say about the defense. I'm going to talk about the next issue I had, and that was the offense. Now, the running game, oh my god, dude. I've been saying for, like, the last 3 years, where is our running game? That was awesome. I mean, I've never seen I haven't seen a Ravens game like that where they've ran that good in years, dude. I loved it. It was awesome, but the passing was, like, that's what's so weird, is that usually the passing is pretty good, and it's the running that's awful. This time, the passing was just okay, and the running was great. But when you're playing the Steelers, I mean, I will say it ad nauseum. I think the Steelers are the most overrated and overhyped team in the league. I do not think they are as good as anybody thinks they are. And I think that they will go into the playoffs, they will play the Patriots, and they will lose by 40 points. Just like every time they play the Patriots. They will get completely just slapped in the next year, and no one's even going to remember their season they just had. I mean, it's that simple. I do believe the Steelers are that way, but when you play the Steelers in the regular season and you're not the Patriots, that's kind of the rule. When you're not the Patriots, you have to take... Okay, my phone is going to bug me, dude. Sorry, my dude Andrew's probably ranting to somebody about the Ravens, which is what I was doing earlier before I picked this camera up. But let's continue. If you are not the Patriots, you have to know, like, that Steelers team, they can just pick up 80 yards whenever they want to. I mean, Big Ben can literally try to lose the game, and he'll just throw it up to Antonio Brown, and Antonio Brown will try and make something happen. You have to put some pressure on Antonio Brown, because once you put pressure on him, he folds. The problem is that Brandon Carr didn't put any pressure on him, and it was just like a walk in the park for him. But this offense was just weird to me, because once they got the lead, they just seemed like they didn't care, like they didn't want to be there, like they didn't want to play. It was like, no, run the score up. Run the ball, pass the ball, stay on point, run the score up. Don't keep it close, but they refused to do that. That was one thing that bugged me. And Jeremy Maclin, dude, like, what the hell? Like, we brought him here to be number one receiver. I mean, he's just useless. I mean, what the hell did he do all night? Besides drop passes and, run weird routes and, like, not be in the vicinity of the ball and never be in sync with Joe. Like, what did he do? And what was even weirder is that then they scratched Perriman. He was a healthy scratch. I don't get that whatsoever. I know people have their criticisms about Perriman, but Jesus, dude, like, he's healthy. He's our number 3 receiver. Put him on the damn field. Because, just like always, if Maclin and Wallace are not playing good, Perriman is still there. You still have that security blanket. He's not number 1 receiver material. I get it. But he's still a good security blanket to have when the other two aren't playing well. He still caught passes, he still got touchdowns, and he still had good games. Play him. Play him if he's healthy. Okay. That also goes into coaching as well, but that's all I'm going to say about the offense. Where was Jeremy Maclin? Why is Brashard not playing? And, just overall, where's the intensity? Where is the continuous wanting to run the score up, wanting to score all the time? Where's that at? Last, but definitely not least, the refs. That was horrendous. I have never seen a more lopsided game as far as calls go. Ever. That was pathetic. That was absolutely horrible. And those refs should be ashamed of the game they called. Absolutely ashamed of the game they called. I mean, what was that, dude? I mean, I saw a bunch of plays that probably could have been called targeting. I'm not saying they were, but they could have been called targeting. They didn't get called. A bunch of pass interference. And this is what I don't get. John Harbaugh, apparently, he said this in the interview at halftime. He says, why won't they call any push-off calls against their receivers? And I'm sitting here like, exactly. Why won't they? Antonio Brown, Martavius Bryant, Rodgers, they're all just pushing off and getting open. The tight ends pushing off, getting open, no calls. You know, our dudes can literally just put a hand on their freaking back. You know, he could just take his hand, put it on dude's back, and it's a pass interference. He could touch his freaking... He could just, like, literally graze his finger, and that's pass interference. Is it, like... You know, for lack of a better term, and I love soccer, I'm not trying to bash on it, but when was this soccer? I thought this was football. You know? I love soccer, I'm not trying to bash, but, you know, that's just kind of how soccer... I mean, obviously, you guys can see the Liverpool posters. I love soccer, but... Come on, dude, like... That's just a soccer thing. You know? The weird ticky-tack fouls. Oh, he touched my hand and I flew through the air and flopped. That's a soccer thing, dude. And that's cool. If I'm watching a soccer game, I'm okay with those calls being, with those fouls being called. This is football. Don't call that foul. This is a man's game. Stop it. Okay? And that's my thing is like, this is a man's game. What the hell are these calls? You know what I mean? The refs were terrible. Especially on that last play. The ball went out of bounds. Sorry, but the ball went out of bounds. That stops the clock. It doesn't matter if it's fumbled out of bounds. I have never once seen a ball be fumbled and then the game just ends because, the ball was fumbled. That was ridiculous. And, I mean, these refs should just be ashamed of themselves. I mean, that was such a sham. Completely rigged, if you ask me. I mean, I'm not one of those guys that likes to say that a sport is rigged, but, dude, it's hard to not say a sport is rigged when you see a game like that. I mean, I get home field advantage, but good lord, dude. I mean, home field advantage is supposed to be because the fans are in your favor and all the cheering is for you. Home field advantage is not supposed to mean the refs got their heads so far up their ass that they call everything for you but don't call anything else for that team. That's not what home field advantage is. Apparently to some people it is, though, but I've had a minute to calm down. I was way more angry earlier. I've actually had to, retake this video, 5 times because of just how angry I've been. So it's giving me a minute to calm down, but I'm just going to leave this here. The Ravens still have a chance at the playoffs. I might start doing these rants weekly. I don't know yet. I love the Ravens. Maybe doing, because I like doing my picks, for the NFL or all that stuff. But I just kind of want to diversify my content. Because, I got a couple of Jeep videos here and there. Yeah, I got some Madden. Yeah, I got my NFL picks. Maybe I can rant about some sports, too, and I can rant about my Ravens. Because I get to add a little bit more personality, a little more of my flair into it. But anyway, guys, that's all I'm going to say on this topic. The Ravens got to get it together, dude. They're playing Cleveland, Indy, and Cincy. I think they could easily win all 3 of those. I think 10-6 is very possible. And if the Ravens go 10-6, I'm not even mad because I'm used to 10-6. I mean, dude, they used to go 10-6 every year. I mean, they used to just be a lock for 10-6. So I think 10-6 would be totally fine. I'm not too worried. The Ravens obviously aren't out of it yet. And I think the only team that they really have a danger of losing to is Cincinnati out of those 3. And Cincinnati is a dumpster fire, so I'd be surprised if the Ravens lose. Plus, you know, all that's got to happen. I mean, if the Ravens win 2 of their games and the Chargers lose 1, the Ravens have locked in the playoff spot. So, it wouldn't even matter if they lose Cincinnati. They could make the playoffs at 9-7. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed my little rant. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow my social medias down below in the description. And until next time, guys, this is your boy Michael signing out. Go Ravens. Peace.
When the world goes up